All right, so we're going to be doing a gentle Pilates flow today. The only thing that you need is maybe a towel or a mat set out for yourself with a little bit of space around you. And I would suggest having a pillow or a towel on hand, so if you need any padding for knees or back or head, that you've got something available to you as well. So we're going to be starting in a seated position today. So oftentimes, we start Pilates in a standing position, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. So my hips are quite tight, so I like to sit on a little pillow, and what I would like you guys to do is a mirror image of me. So you are going to bring your left foot in front towards your pelvis, and then place your right foot in front of that, and then pull the flesh of your bum out the back. And I actually feel like I need a second cushion here. So give yourself as much padding as you need. And then just use your hands on your knees to lengthen your spine so that you're sitting up nice and tall. Maybe just wiggle your ribs around a little bit. Move your ankles and your knees and your feet so that they feel good for you. And do a little bit of a stretch through the neck, moving gently. And then to center. Let your hands rest comfortably on your knees or in your lap, and I'd like you to softly close your eyes. And if you're not comfortable with closing your eyes completely, then just allow your gaze to soften and look gently down towards the floor. We're just going to start with a few moments of connecting to our breath. And you can breathe in and out through the nose, or you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just as you allow your breath to travel through your body, let yourself settle into the shape that you're in. Make any adjustments that you need so your body starts to feel at ease. Take your eyes backwards into your head. Allow all the front lines to disappear. And just start to notice your physical body. Scanning through your joints. Noticing your muscles, noticing your connective tissue, noticing your skin. And if you find any places that you're holding unnecessary tension, and you allow your breath to soften and release a little bit more. And start to notice the effect internally of each inhale and each exhale. Notice how your rib cage expands and perhaps how your belly softens slightly with each inhale. And notice with each exhale how the ribs close, and perhaps there's a little bit more of a connection, a slight tension around the abdominals and the belly. Can you visualize your lungs inflating like two balloons? And as you exhale, allowing all the air to get gently squeezed from the lungs. Notice when you inhale and you inflate your lungs, that you almost give your heart a little hug. And then when you exhale, you give your heart a little bit of space. And allow yourself to just settle into a gentle, natural rhythm of your breath. And now take a moment to notice your energy And we can call this energy lots of different things. Some people call it your aura, some people call it the magnetic field, other people talk about chakras, other people talk about an energetic body. Whatever you would like to consider it, just start to notice how you feel today, not just physically, but energetically. Find a gentle harmony between those two bodies. And allow your breath to be in connection with the two. And in any mindful movement, Tai Chi, Qigong, Pilates, yoga, there's an emphasis on breath. Breath is that common thread. Now take a nice deep breath in. Fill your lungs, fill your body as much as you can. Open your mouth, exhale and sigh. Just let your eyes open slowly, blinking gently a few times. And now you're going to take both hands just out to the side with your palms facing up. And we're going to breathe in and reach both arms all the way up. And just touch the tips of the fingers to their partners. And then exhale, open your arms nice and wide and let the arms come all the way down. Now you're going to place your right hand to the ground. I'm doing a mirror image of you. And you're going to bring your left hand up over. And as you lean over towards the right, can you feel a release and an opening on the right lateral line, the right side body? Come all the way back up, placing your left hand down, right hand comes up and over, and now you're going to stretch over towards the side, opening up through the side body, and all the way back up. Pause for a moment, palms facing upwards, and again, breathe and reach up. Feel how this arm movement allows your ribs to open a little bit more. And then exhale and open up nice and wide, bringing it all the way down. And now, placing right hand, left arm comes up and over, and we're just going to start to do a little bit of a trampolining action from side to side. So you're going to push off the one hand, and it's just a gentle rebound up and over. By the way, guys, if there's any discomfort around your hips or your knees, you don't have to stay seated like this. Move your legs to however feels good for you as we do this mobilizing of the spine. Let's just take two more. One more. And now come all the way up. You're going to reach both arms up. Can you reach through the fingertips? And now bring your hands down on the floor in front of you and just walk forward until you feel that you can settle into a comfortable position here. So some people are so flexible they can put their head on the floor, okay? Other people might only be able to put their hands in front of them like this, or you might be anywhere in between. Find a shape that you can stay in, and then just soften into it. Relax through the back of the neck. Double check for yourself that you have both your sit bones on the floor, and then just observe yourself here. Notice perhaps where you're feeling the stretch, if anywhere. What is the shape of your spine here? And as you stay here and breathe, can you notice perhaps that there's a shift in the body that you might actually be able to sink a little bit deeper into this position? We're just going to take a few more breaths in and out. Just enjoying the shape, enjoying the release. And then on your own time, walk your hands all the way back, coming all the way upright. And then just unfold your right leg out in front of you. Unfold your left leg out in front of you. Give your legs just a little bit of a shake. Get all that circulation going back into those joints. And now we're going to sit cross-legged the other way. So now you're going to be bringing your right leg in front, and then your left ankle in front of that. I hope I've got that right. So basically, you've got the other side. And we're going to inhale, sweeping both arms all the way up, touching the tips of the fingers to their partners, and then open the arms nice and wide. And now, placing left hand to the floor, let's start trampolining from side to side. Push away from the hand, and up and over. Beautiful. So you can stay on one side and breathe into it, or you can allow your body to move. And fascia, by the way, loves water, and fascia loves oxygen. So we want to make sure that we're breathing with our movements, and we want to make sure that in between and after class that we're going to make sure that we're drinking enough water. Come all the way back to the center. We're going to take both hands all the way up, find a little bit of length. And now bring your hands down in front of you, and once again, come forward until you feel a little bit of a stretch. And just notice on your own body, I'm just moving back because I've got quite bony ankles and it feels a bit uncomfortable on the hardwood. So make any adjustments that you need. And then settle into this shape and into the stretch. And once again, just notice, how does your body feel here? Is it any different from the first side? Does it feel the same maybe? Can you feel both of your sit bones connecting to the ground? And what is the shape of your spine here? Allow yourself to melt into this just a little bit more with each breath. Notice the shift that takes place. Taking one more breath in and out, and then walking your hands all the way back up, coming all the way upright, and then stretch your legs out. Maybe you need to help yourself here a little bit, and once again, just give your legs a little bit of a shake. Very nice. So now we're going to go into a little bit of a twist of the spine. So I'm doing mirror image. You're going to take your right foot and cross it over, and you're going to stand flat on that foot. I want you to flex your left foot so that your toes are pulling backwards towards you. Now take your right hand, put it on the mat behind you so that you can really prop yourself up like a bicycle stand, okay? And guys, if you're tight in your hips, lift your hips up or even walk your foot forward, it doesn't matter. Take your left hand, reach up, create some space, and now start twisting over towards the right. Hook your elbow over the knee, and then help yourself coming into a little bit of a rotation of the spine. And you never want to force this, by the way. Just allow yourself to breathe into it, and what you will find is that purely with breathing, your body starts to release a little bit more. So we're not forcing anything here. We're creating mobility. Taking one more time, and then release slowly. Now take both hands over to the left side. Keep your legs as they are. Take your hands over to the left, and then just let yourself find a little bit of a counter rotation. And I like to do a little bit of a rocking action on my hips here. So my hands are on the floor. Soften through the neck and through the shoulders. And come all the way back up. Uncross and stretch the leg out. And again, if you need to, shake out the knees. Taking your left foot, cross it over. Make sure you're standing flat on the foot. Lift the toes up. You're going to place now your left hand behind your back and prop yourself up tall. Reach up, create space. And now twisting over towards the left, you're going to hook your elbow to your knee and then help yourself, don't force yourself, guide yourself into a little bit of a seated spine twist. And breathe. Now, I don't like you guys. I know, Jules, you said that you were feeling your back and your shoulders quite a bit. So I feel quite a nice stretch between my shoulder blades in these little muscles called the rhomboids when I do this. So that's my tight area, and I think Jolita's as well. Just notice on your own body where you're feeling this. Take one more breath in and out, and then release, come back to center. Keep your legs as they are, hands go over to the right side this time. Just let your hands settle, and then maybe just do a little bit of a rocking action. There's no right or wrong here. Whatever feels good for you, you can do it. Feels good, eh? And then come all the way back up to center, uncross your legs, and give your legs a little bit of a shake. So now we're going to come onto all fours. So you may need some cushions underneath your knees. Mine seem to be fine here. So set yourself up, shoulders above wrists, knees below hips. Spread the fingers out so your middle finger is pointing forward, and I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment and just notice your body weight on your hands and on your lower limbs. And can you get 70% of your body weight onto your thumb and forefinger? If you feel the pressure is rolling to the baby finger, please take your hands a little wider apart so that you are weight-bearing on the thumb side of the hand. And by the way, if you're working on your fists, I know a lot of people need to work on the fists, then please make sure your body weight is between the first and the second knuckle. You do not want to roll to the baby knuckle. That's going to cause issues in your wrists ultimately. Now when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes. Let's go into a cat stretch. Start by tucking the tailbone under so you can feel the lower spine round. Then start lifting through the navel, the lower ribs. Push away from your hands as you round your upper back. And then tuck your chin in and look at your own belly button. And now start from the tailbone as you lengthen the tailbone out, arching the lumbar spine gently, releasing the ribs, lifting the heart, and your eye line comes to the front into a gentle extension. Tuck your tailbone, rolling through your spine, lower back, middle back, upper back, tucking your chin in. Lengthen the tailbone. Create space as you arch the lumbar spine, extending thoracic, and then lifting heart and lifting gaze. Keep going at your own pace. And this is such a beautiful exercise to be able to articulate the spine. If anything doesn't feel good, then please don't force it. Just allow yourself to move into a space where maybe you can give yourself a little bit of a release, increase mobility, but no pain, right? And let's just take a few more. Beautiful. Connecting into the breath as you move. And on the last one, round your spine like a cat. And I'd like everyone to meet here. Stay here in a rounded cat stretch. Tuck your toes under. And then lift your knees just up off the ground. If your knees cannot lift up, it doesn't matter. Keep your knees down if you need to and push into the hands and into the feet. If you can't tuck your toes under, it doesn't matter. Keep your toes relaxed and then push into the shins and into the hands. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Release the knees, relax the toes, and simply bring your spine back to a lengthened neutral shape. Now, I want you to balance on your right hand and reach the left hand out to the side, and then coming into thread the needle. So thread the left arm all the way through and bring your head all the way to the ground. If you need to put a pillow underneath your head, give yourself that support. That's absolutely fine. Now today, I want you to keep the right hand where it is on the floor. And all we're going to do is bend the left elbow and give ourselves a little pat on the back, and then release the left arm down again. And again, little pat on the back, and release it down. So what we're doing here is a little bit of a fascial release for the back arm line. And let's just take 2 more, gentle rhythmic movement. And let's take one more time. And release. Push into the right hand. Now, reach the left arm out to the side. Control your movements. It's a lot of work in the core. It's a lot of work in that right arm. And now bring the left hand down. Stay here for a moment. And now, right arm reaches to the side. Coming into a thread the needle. So your right arm goes all the way through. Let your head and let your shoulder rest. Give yourself support if you need. And then take a moment to observe how it feels on this side. Do you need any adjustments? Keep the left hand as it is, and you bend the right elbow to give yourself a little pat on the back, and then release the arm out. And again, bend and release. Good, just keep going. 3 more. A little bit of a release for the back arm line again. So that's the triceps, all the way from the rhomboids, the trapezius, the lats. Last one. And releasing the arm all the way out. Push into the left hand. Come up, extending the right arm all the way out. And then bring that hand all the way in again. Center yourself on your hands. Slide the right leg back. Pause here for a moment, and then pick up the back leg without collapsing into the lower abs. Stay here, and can you visualize a long straight line through the crown of your head and back through your foot? Round your spine and bring your knee towards your nose. Lengthen your spine, reach through the crown and reach through the foot. Connect your breath. And stretch. And again, think of lifting through the belly. And you can challenge this for yourself by trying to keep your right foot close to your right bum. And you're going to really feel the back of your leg working if you do that. Take 2 more. 1 more. Reach back. Now stay here. Flex the right foot so there's energy pushing out through the heel. Start circling your right leg around to the side and then stop when your big toe is in line with the left knee. Now, roll your right foot flat to the ground. If anybody has hip issues, you might need to bring the foot forward or you might even need to turn the foot out. Figure it out of what feels okay for you. Long spine. Start moving your hips backwards. Don't let your hands move. And come forward. And again, press back. Can you feel that in that inner thigh, Jules? Me too. So this is now a fascial release for the deep midline. And that deep midline actually starts at the inner thighs here, the hip adductors. I know it might not seem related, but it all leads up towards the pelvic floor, around the internal organs, the diaphragm, and then all the way up through those deep neck flexor muscles, all connected. One more time. Now go halfway back and stay here. Round your spine like a cat and come up onto the tips of your fingers. Can you feel a connection to your belly? And then when you can, lift the hands up and reach the arms out to the sides so that you're spreading your wings nice and wide. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. Placing your right hand to your right thigh, lifting the left arm up and over as you come into a beautiful side stretch, and then come all the way back up and spread your wings wide. Turn the palms of your hands to face up. Feel that wonderful opening up the shoulders. We're going to slide to the left, and we're going to slide back in. Can you feel a little connection here, obliques? And in. Let's take 2 more. And in. One more time, out to the side you come now, hold it here. You can stay here if this is challenging, but otherwise, can you bring your hands up to meet each other overhead? Reach, lovely, and open. And breathe in. And breathe out. Lovely, one more time, breathe in. Breathe out, hold it, look down, place your fingertips to the ground, and then walk hand over hand. Bring your shoulders back to the front. Get your shoulders over your wrists. Lengthen your spine. And now, can you pick up that right leg, sweep it around to the back, and then bring that knee all the way in. Open your knees, big toes together. Sit your bum towards your feet. Now listen again. Anybody with knee issues, you can put this underneath your knees as well to give yourself some support, okay? And then just walk your hands as far forward as your shoulders allow and place your forehead to the ground. If your head doesn't touch the floor, give yourself support, either with your hands or with a pillow. And we're just going to stay here and breathe for a few moments. And for those of you that have been doing my classes, you'll notice that I take these little opportunities in between movements just to stop and notice. It's very, very easy to just move, 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 and we don't have a chance to observe what the effect is of movements on our bodies. Yeah? Just take one more breath in and out. And then start to draw yourself back up onto all fours. Center yourself so you've got wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, and we're going to do the left side now. Stretch the left leg back. Pause here for a moment. Lift your leg up and double check that you haven't dropped into the lower back. You need to connect your lower abdominals here. Round the spine, draw knee to nose. Lengthen the spine and reach through your crown. And again, round the spine, lift up through the belly. Lengthen, energy through the foot. Let's take 3 more. And remember, you can challenge by keeping your foot close to your bum. Good, very nice. Keep pushing out of the arms. You want the arms as straight as possible. Beautiful, Jules. One more time. And stretch. Now hold it here. Flex the foot so you're pushing energy out through the heel of the foot. And now sweep that leg around to the left. I'm doing mirror image of you. And I want you to put your toe down so that your foot is in line with your knee. Roll your foot flat. Make any adjustments you need. And then lengthen the spine. Start moving your hips backwards towards your heel. And come forward. And again, press back. And again. Beautiful. How does this side feel in comparison to the other side? One more time. Come halfway back and pause. Round your spine like a cat and rise onto the tips of the fingers. Double check that you have a core connection. Start moving back slightly so that you can roll all the way up and expand through your wingtips. Beautiful, that's it. Place your left hand to your leg. Right hand comes up and over, giving yourself a release down the side of your body. Come all the way back up, spread your wings, and turn the palms up to open the chest and externally rotate the shoulder. Start sliding towards the right and come back to center. So this is a lovely way to start connecting to those obliques muscles. Good. Last 2. Last one. Pause here for a moment. You can stay here, or you can start framing your head with your arms. We are challenging by moving the levers. And then open your arms. Open up across the collarbones. And again, reach up, framing your head. Lovely. This is all such lovely preparation work for the side bend series that we do in the advanced work. And open up and hold. Turn your head to look down. Come down onto the tips of your fingers, support yourself, and then walk hand over hand. Come back to the center. Get your shoulders above the wrists, and then lift the leg, sweep the leg to the back. Bring your knee all the way in, open your knees, sit back, use the padding that you need, and coming once again into a resting position. Take this opportunity to just pause, observe, and connect. Then on your next breath, pull yourself up onto all fours. Take yourself up on hands and knees, and you're going to tuck your toes under as much as you can. Make sure that your Achilles tendons are pointing straight up. You're going to start walking your hands backwards towards your knees so that you'll feel your body weight shifts back. And then all I want you to do is to push into your hands and lift your knees up so you roll onto your toes. And then lower your knees so you come down again. Keep the toes tucked under. That's it. So it's literally, you're kind of going into a crouched position. That's it, to keep your bum as close to your feet as you can. So if your hips have to come up because you're quite tight, if you're doing this, then that's perfect. Find where you can move to, especially if you've got knee issues, right? Last one. And let your knees come all the way down. Relax through the feet and come up to shake out your hands. So I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to be going into an upright 100 exercise. For those of you who know the hundreds, we're going to do 3 breaths in and out, not 5. If you haven't done the 100s before, we're going to talk you through it. Separate knees and feet slightly. Make sure that your feet are in parallel. Make paddles with your hands. Stretch the wrists and stretch the elbows, and the palms of your hands are facing backwards. Firm the belly, firm the gluteals, stabilize here. Energy up through the crown of your head as we start pumping the arms. Let's just get the arm pumping. Can you do this pumping action from the shoulder joint, no flapping? Pumping from the shoulder joint without letting your body wibble wobble all over the place. Stabilize. We're going to start with 3 breaths out and then 3 breaths in. Here we go. Sit over onto one hip and then turn around to sit onto your sit bones. Come towards the front of your mat. You're going to have your big toes up at the front of the mat. You're going to have both knees bent. And I want you to hook your hands onto the front of your knees. Use your arms. Lengthen your spine to sit up as tall as you can. On your breath, start by curling the tailbone under. Feel your belly button pull away from your thighs and roll back until you almost feel that you are hanging off your arms. You can lift the toes, but don't let the feet lift up completely. Bend the elbows and pull yourself back in. And then at the top of the movement, lengthen the spine and lift. And again, draw the tailbone under. Pause here, breathe in, feel the back of the ribs open, and exhale, bend the elbows, pull, and lift up tall. And again, draw the tailbone under, feel the abdominals gently working, feel the stretch along the back. And bend the elbows. And if your spine is feeling good, perhaps you'd like to extend a little bit. And curl the tailbone under. Hang into it. And bend the elbows, pull, nice jaws. And then lift up, maybe going into extension, so you're lifting your heart. Last time, round the spine, lean back, take a breath in, and then exhale, pull, lift up, gentle extension, and come back to the center. Stay tall, bring both arms out. We're gonna go all the way onto the mat. So if you need to use your hands to help you, hold on, that's absolutely fine. Make it as graceful as possible, being gentle on your body. Nice, well done, Jules. Yay! And let your hands relax beside you. So you want to make sure that you've got knees and feet still slightly separated, okay? And you're going to have your arms beside you. Now, I don't care if you've got palms down or if you've got palms up. Make sure that you can see me there. Whatever feels good for your neck and shoulders. Here's the other thing. If anybody has knee issues, or maybe you're really tight along the side of the leg here, this is called the IT band, you may very well need to move your feet or your leg position. Please do whatever you need to do so that your body feels okay. Find a lengthened spine, find the weight of your pelvis. We're going up into a pelvic curl. On your breath, give me a little bit of a tilt with the hips, feel the imprint, and then rolling up. Come up into your first bridge position of today and stay here for a moment. I want you to really feel that you're lifting from the base of your pelvis. Don't let your lower back take over. So you want the glute max to be working, you want the hip flexors to be opening, and you want your ribs gently sliding down so you can feel that your abdominals are supporting you. Take a moment to notice the backs of your arms, your head, and your feet on the ground. Those are your points of contact. And now start rolling down. Soften from the throat. Soften around the heart and lungs. Soften the internal organs, and then let your pelvis settle at the bottom. Do you need to move anything? Here we go again. Breathing out, tilting the hips. Rolling up into your bridge. Pausing here for a moment. Take a breath in. And then exhale. Roll down through the spine. And release. And let's just take two more. Finding that wonderful articulation of the spine. Rolling up. That's it. Waking up the back line of the body here. And then you get to ripple down through the spine. Softening through the neck. And release. And let's just take one more time. We're keeping it super simple today. Tilting hips. Rolling up. Coming up into your shoulder bridge. Pause for a moment. And then you get to ripple down through the spine. Imprint. And release down. Now stay there for a moment. I want you to hug your right knee to your chest. You can keep the left leg bent or you can straighten it out depending on how flexible your hamstrings are. Take your hands, hook them behind your thigh, flex the right foot, and as you breathe out, stretch, pushing up through the heel, and inhale, release. And again, exhale. So it's a gentle moving stretch. We're not going to hold the static stretch here. Find the weight of your pelvis. Try to keep your head and shoulders as relaxed as possible. And if you need to put a cushion under your head, go for it. Last one. Press up. And release. Placing that right foot down, bring the left knee in, and again, do you want to have the right leg bent or would you like to straighten it? Hook your hands behind your thigh, flexing the left foot, and let's move. Oh, that feels so good. And again. And listen, I'm not super flexible, but I'm functionally flexible. I can can straighten this top leg. If you can't straighten it, it doesn't matter. Take it to a point where you can feel the stretch, and then that's all you can ask your body to do, right? One more time. And release, and placing the feet down. Now, here's what you're going to do. Bring your knees together, bring your feet together, and then I want you to pivot your toes apart so you're standing like this in a V position. So it's like first position for the ballerinas. And when you pivot your feet open and you stand flat, your knees should automatically come into a diamond shape. We're going to do a pelvic curl from here. So put your arms down, palms up, palms down, doesn't matter. On your breath, tilt your hips and start coming up into your pelvic curl. Just like seconds ago, but we are now externally rotated at the top of the femur. Can you feel that your bum has to work a bit more? Take a breath in, and then roll down through the spine, and release. Is everyone okay? If it doesn't feel good on your knees, go back to parallel. And again, tilting hips. Jules, how's this feeling for you?
Good.
Good. You can feel the gluteals working, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic. Squeeze the heels together and then ripple down through the spine, consciously placing each vertebra and release. And let's just take two more. A little bit of a tilt. Somebody asked me yesterday if we could actually do some gluteal focused work. So here's one of the ones you can do. Sorry, I can't remember who it was. Ripple down through the spine and release. And we're going to do just one time, tilting the hips, rolling up into your bridge. Now I want you to stay here. Can you lift your hands up to the sky? Do you still have balance? If not, put your hands down. Let your hips hinge down halfway and press up. Halfway, press up. You are lifting from the base of the pelvis, not your lower back. Last three. Last two. Last one. Hold it. Roll down through the spine. You're keeping your arms lifted, so it's a little bit of open chain work. And then release your pelvis. Bring your toes, touch knees together. And if you need to click your knees out like I do, you can click your knees. And then you're going to have the knees and the feet stay together. Interlock the fingers. Place your hands underneath your head for a little bit of support. So your head is resting, the knees are together, the elbows are lifted in the corner of your eye. On your breath, lifting the rib cage forward, sliding the ribs towards the pelvis as you come up into the first chest lift of today's class. Releasing gently down. And again, breathing out. Feel the upper attachments of the abdominals moving forward and releasing down. So guys, remember as you do this movement that we are wanting to also connect to the deepest core abdominal muscles. So keep going at your own pace. So not only are you coming up into a chest lift, I'm going to ask you to flatten the abdominals as well as you work. So keep going up and down at your own pace. Use your breath to guide the movement. Feel how the rib cage pulls you forward. It's not a pulling action with the arms. This is not a leading action with the chin. Beautiful, Jules. That looks lovely. Let's take two more. Curling forward. Great. And release. And let's take one more time. Slide the ribs forward. And releasing all the way down. And then just pause there. Let your elbows open. Let your knees open into a little reclined butterfly position. Maybe you just want to do a little bit of a rocking action of the hips and the knees. And then set your knees together and bring your hands tight now with the palms facing up. So you're in a Boeing 747 position. Pick up your right thigh and cross it over the left thigh. So it's like a little kid waiting to go to the toilet. Roll both knees over to the right. So your left hip will come up and you're going to look over the left shoulder. Can you keep the left arm and shoulder to the ground? And then use the obliques muscles to draw yourself back to center and look up towards the ceiling. Now roll your knees to the left. So now your right hip comes up. You look over the right shoulder. Can you keep the right shoulder down this time? And exhale, use the obliques muscles to pull back to the center. Roll your knees to the right, look to the left. Arms are open, collarbones wide. Breathe, connecting into your center to pull back. One more time, rolling your knees to the left, look to the right. Come all the way back to the center and hold. Keep your legs crossed like they are and bring both knees up to the chest. Put your hands on your shins, one on each shin, and slide your hands down until you can get a little bit of a grip on your legs. So I'm quite tight in my hips. I can really feel that. Some people, if you can't actually even hold the bottom leg, it doesn't matter. Just give yourself some support, or what you might even want to do is put your foot against a wall, because that wall will give you a little bit of extra support so you don't have to strain into the stretch. And for those of you that find that easy, just breathe and enjoy. A few more seconds here, head and shoulders relaxing down. And then cross. Hug both knees to your chest just for a moment. Tuck your chin in, little ball shape. And then release down and placing both feet to the ground. Knees together, feet together, arms out to the side, bowing 747. Pick up your left thigh and cross it over. Roll your knees to the left. So your right hip comes up. You look over the right shoulder. And exhale, use obliques to come all the way back to the center. Roll your knees to the right, look over the left shoulder, and breathe. It's almost like you're wringing water out of a sponge around your midsection. Rolling your knees towards the left, looking over the right shoulder. And exhale, coming all the way back. Doesn't that feel good? And one more time, and it's such a simple movement, yeah? Very nice. And then exhale, come back to the center and pause there. Keep your thighs crossed, bring both knees up to your chest. You guys are lying on your backs, and then slide your hands down your legs so that you can hold onto your ankles or your shins or whatever it is that you can actually manage to get a grip onto there. And you're just going to stay here and breathe. And guys, if you need a cushion under your head, give yourself the padding. I'm just having a quick sip of water. Few more seconds there. Then, on your next breath, uncross your legs, hug them to your chest, and now tuck yourself into a little bit of a ball shape, holding it here. You can either keep your hands on the front of your shins or move them to the back, and we're going to start kicking our legs and rolling on our spines. Keep your chin tucked in. So it's a little bit of a modified rolling like a ball because we're kicking with our feet. And now, if you feel that you can do rolling like a ball without the momentum of your feet, then keep your feet going. Very nice. Think about pulling your bladder away from your thighs, because that's going to help you maintain that curve in the lower spine. One more time, it's looking good. And I'm going to come and hold it. Now stay here, and I want you to lift your shins so that they're horizontal to the ground. Move your hands behind your thighs. Use your hands to lengthen your spine. So if I was to look at you from the side, you would be making a V shape with your spine and with your thighs. Now, for those of you that are advanced Pilates Pilates and yoga people, perhaps you'd like to extend your legs. If not, you keep them bent, because now, would you like to reach your arms forward? And we hold it here. And this, can you feel the hip flexors, guys? Stay for 3. Hang in there with me. 2, 1. Place your feet down and relaxing all the way over. Just pause here. So this is a resting position, except that we are seated. Just an opportunity to slow down for a moment, connect to your breath. Observe yourself. And then roll up gently. And I want you to turn onto your right side. So just pivot. You're going to have both knees bent. And you're just going to prop yourself up onto your elbow. So you want to feel a little bit of a lift through the underside of the body. So you can feel the obliques and the lats. Place your hand onto the shelf of your hip. And you're simply going to extend that top leg nice and long. You can flex the foot or you can point. And I want you to just firm the lower abdominals and move the leg an inch backwards behind you, just an inch, without arching into the lumbar spine. Find the connection into the gluteals, pushing out of that bottom elbow. And now we're going to do 8 little lifts. It's controlled. It's precise. Happens to be 2 of the Pilates principles, along with breathing. Very nice. Halfway there. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Bend that knee, pointing the toe. Reach your top hand. Grab onto your ankle or your foot. And then, without collapsing the spine, pull into the belly. Push out of the bottom arm. See if you can just move your leg a little bit backwards behind you. You might be feeling a stretch here. And if you want to increase the stretch, you tilt the pelvis. So you think about tucking the tailbone underneath you. Whoa, can you feel that? Few more seconds. And then release. Come to sit on both bum cheeks. Balance, 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 balance. And then swing both legs to the side. Coming onto the elbow. Hand on the hip. Stretch the top leg. You can point or flex the foot. Double check. Lats connecting. Obliques connecting. Zip up the lower abs. And then move your leg just an inch behind you. It does not have to be a big movement. We're just engaging. And now 8 little lifts. Keep the core connection. Lifting the bottom oblique. Isolating gluteus medius. 1 more. Pause. Point the toe. Bend the knee. Reach back to hold onto the foot or the ankle. And guys, if this is really tight, just loop a towel over your foot and you can hold onto it to give yourself some support. Little tilt with the pelvis. Finding a stretch into that hip flexor and the quadricep. And by the way, if your neck is hurting, look down. Oh. Take a breath in, and then release, and please roll onto your stomachs. All right, so you're going to have your legs stretched out behind you. We're just going to do a little bit of back extension here. So you're going to have your elbows poking up towards the sky. Separate your feet slightly. Tuck your toes under on the ground, but keep your thighs resting down. Nice long spine. Firm the gluteals to anchor the pelvis. We're going to start by lifting the eye line and coming up just into a little baby cobra. So you want your ribs down and your heart up. Test yourself. Can you lift your arms? Yes. Put your hands down and lower the chest. And using your inhale to come up and using your exhale to release. 2 more. Inhale One more time. Inhale and exhale to stay here. Now anchor your pelvis and see if you can simply lift the knees up. Toes are on the ground as you push out through the heels of the feet, so toes down. Yes, and the thighs come up. Yes. And release your thighs down. Keep your heart lifted. And lift your thighs up, squeezing the legs straight. And release. One more time. Stretch the legs. Beautiful, guys. And release. Lower the chest. And now, push into your hands as you come up onto all fours. This is the last minute of class. Tuck your toes under. We're going to transition into a standing position through an inverted V, a pike, a downward dog, whatever you'd like to call it. If it doesn't feel good for you, you just come up however feels good. Lifting the knees up. Push away from your hands as you lift your hips up. Take a moment to pedal the heels down towards the ground. Oh my goodness, such a nice stretch for the calf muscles. And then push both heels towards the ground and just stay here for 3 breaths in and out. If you're on one of those stretching mats and you feel that you're slipping, you might want to move onto the hardwood floor for this as well. And now soften the knees, walking your feet all the way to your hands. So feet are on the tips of your fingers, then come up onto your fingers. And just separate the feet hip distance. Hang there like a rag doll and shake your head no. And now nod your head yes. Your head hanging. And then unravel your spine and coming all the way up into a stand position. So make sure you don't have to head. Roll the shoulders back and around. And then just let yourself settle. I'm going to turn to face towards you. Just double check that your feet are slightly apart. And just stay for a moment. I invite you to close your eyes or tuck your gaze. Your gaze in. Notice your body in space. Notice your joints. Notice your muscles, your connective tissue, your skin. Turn your awareness to your breathing. Feel your heartbeat. Once again, notice your energy. Allow your energy to harmonize with your physical body. Take a lovely deep breath in. Fill your body, fill your lungs, side out. Open your eyes slowly, one roll down. We breathe in, grow tall, create space, and nod your chin and just take your body all the way over. And more crown, find the weight of your arms, hold the bottom, observe yourself, and then unravel, coming all the way back up. Your abdominals support you from the front, the back line of your body lifts you from the back, open up across the chest. Wonderful. Thanks, Jill. Guys, thank you so much. Guys, thank you. I'm going to turn the volume on again.
I did that last week because that's so cute.
Oh, my goodness.
Goodness gracious. Thank you.
Oh, shame. Good. Guys, how did you enjoy?
It was lovely. Thank you very much, Renee. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Renee.
Really
Thank you,
loved the
Renee.
class.
Thank you, Renee.
much.
That was
Good
great.
pleasure. You are so very welcome. Guys, any specific to doing these classes, feel free to send a message and try and tailor it so that everyone Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you very much, Renee.
Bye.
Very nice.
See you,
Thank you.
Rebecca. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Renee.
See you, Lucinda.
Thanks so much. It was awesome.
You're so welcome.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Bye.
Absolutely welcome. I just have to ask, who's the frizz? Anybody know?
Frizz.
So, and somebody called Stalker.
Oh, that's no, don't worry, Renee, that's my son's phone. I don't know why he's got it down speaker. Sorry. I thought that my iPad was about to die.
Well, I suppose somebody who's really a stalker isn't going to announce it to everyone, are they?
Sorry, it's okay, it's all fine.
That's good. I just saw that. I thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll
I'm
get
going
him
to
to
stop
say
the
that.
recording.